Imagine stepping back in time to the early 1500s, a world vastly different from our own. Picture yourself deep within the heart of central Mexico, where dense jungles teem with life and ancient secrets. Here, the magnificent Templo Mayor, the Great Temple, rises proudly above the sprawling city of Tenochtitlan, a testament to the power and ingenuity of the Aztec civilization. This sacred structure boasts twin shrines at its summit, each dedicated to a powerful deity. One honors Tlaloc, and the other, Huitzilopochtli, the fierce god of war and the sun. Far below, in the temple's sacred precinct, vast crowds gather, their anticipation palpable. Watch as the priests, adorned in elaborate regalia, ascend the steep pyramid steps, their movements deliberate and purposeful. The rhythmic beat of drums echoes across the intricate network of canals that crisscross the city, filling the air with a sense of solemnity and impending ritual. The Aztecs held a profound belief that the sun god engaged in a constant battle against the forces of darkness with each rising dawn, and that he desperately needed human blood, chalchihuatl, or precious water, to sustain his strength and ensure his victory. For the Aztecs, sacrifice wasn't an act of cruelty or barbarism, it was a sacred and necessary cosmic bargain, a vital exchange to maintain the delicate balance of the universe and keep the world alive. They believed that without this offering, the sun would falter in its journey across the sky, its light dimming and weakening, crops would wither and fail to provide sustenance, leading to widespread famine and despair, and ultimately, the very fabric of the universe would unravel, plunging the world into eternal darkness and destruction. These complex rituals were not simply acts of blind faith, they represented the Aztecs' understanding of the cosmos, their science, their religion, and their very means of survival in a world they perceived as precarious and demanding. Therefore, when we witness these ceremonies, either through historical accounts or artistic representations, we are granted a glimpse into a worldview driven by a desperate yet deeply spiritual attempt to appease the gods and ensure the continued turning of the world. The Mexica, also known as the Aztecs, built a vast and powerful empire centered on the magnificent city of Tenochtitlan. It was a city of floating gardens, known as chinampas, and grand temples that dominated the skyline. Their world profoundly revolved around the sun, Huitzilopochtli, their fierce and divine protector. They believed the gods had sacrificed themselves to create the world, therefore humans owed a cosmic debt in return. Aztec priests were skilled astronomers, meticulously tracking celestial cycles with remarkable precision. Rituals were carefully timed to align with cosmic events, solstices and Venus risings, each sacrifice reinforcing the delicate balance of the universe's order. Victims often represented revered gods and were deeply honored before their ultimate deaths. Every single act performed in these ceremonies held profound cosmic meaning. Sacrifice was viewed as a sacred duty, and certainly not random violence. Ritual sacrifice within the Aztec civilization was far from a chaotic event. It was a meticulously planned and executed process. Every action was symbolic, imbued with deep meaning and significance. Most victims selected for this sacred rite were captured warriors, often taken during what were known as flower wars. These flower wars were unique conflicts, battles deliberately staged to acquire captives for sacrifice, rather than to seize territory or resources. Interestingly, to be chosen as a sacrifice was not seen as a punishment, but as an honor. The ultimate glory, in their belief system, was to die for the gods, ensuring cosmic order and continued prosperity for their people. At the summit of the pyramid, the priests, acting as intermediaries between the earthly and divine realms, employed razor-sharp obsidian blades to swiftly and precisely remove the still-beating heart, offering it directly to the sun god, Tonatiuh, as sustenance. The heart was regarded as the vessel containing Teolia, the divine life force or energy, and was reverently placed within a special ceremonial vessel known as a quaxicali. However, bloodletting wasn't an act solely reserved for grand sacrificial events. Aztecs from all social strata regularly practiced auto-sacrifice or self-bloodletting, offering their own blood as a form of personal devotion and supplication in their daily lives. These ritualistic acts were believed to be essential in maintaining the delicate cosmic balance, fostering a direct and personal connection to the divine forces that govern their world. In essence, sacrifice in its various forms was deeply woven into every facet and level of Aztec society and daily life. History is often written by the victors, and the Spanish accounts of the Aztec civilization are no exception. These accounts frequently exaggerated the scale and nature of Aztec sacrifice, painting them as bloodthirsty savages to justify their conquest and the destruction of their culture. This biased portrayal has unfortunately shaped much of our understanding of the Aztecs for centuries. In reality, while sacrifice was a part of their society, the rituals were deeply rooted in complex religious beliefs, not mindless violence as often depicted. It was a spiritual practice with profound meaning. Sometimes, Aztecs themselves were chosen as sacrificial victims, often seen as a great honor, especially those impersonating gods. This was considered the ultimate offering. These individuals were deeply honored, treated with reverence, living as deities in the days leading up to their sacrifice, before willingly facing death. The Aztecs were not just warriors, they were also poets, skilled engineers, and incredibly talented artists, with a system of universal education that was remarkably advanced for its time, and a deep understanding of advanced medicine, including herbal remedies and surgical techniques. Defining them solely by the practice of sacrifice ignores their incredible achievements, rich culture, and fundamental humanity. Their rituals, though sometimes shocking to modern sensibilities, reflected a profound sense of duty and a deep spiritual connection to the cosmos and the cycles of life and death. By looking deeper, beyond the sensationalized accounts, we begin to see a complex and sophisticated civilization striving to understand and sustain their world, leaving behind a legacy that deserves to be understood in its entirety.